I heard that there's supposed to be some tapes or something that's coming out real soon. And I guess we'll all really know the truth if anything's on those tapes.
You guys are seriously not going to believe this one. In a recent interview, DaBaby opened up about some shocking experiences connected to Diddy's parties and what he had to say as people talking. We have all heard the disturbing stories and rumors about what allegedly happened behind the scenes at Diddy's famous parties. You know the ones I mean, where huge celebrities would gather, hang out, and spend the night together. Now, new reports suggest that DaBaby was actually present at one of those gatherings, and he is finally giving people a look at a very uncomfortable part of his life. So get ready, because this story gets wild. Let's go back to a night at Puff's house in 2020. DaBaby later talked about that night during an interview, and the way he told the story was hard to ignore. He looked nervous while describing what happened. Really nervous. And that makes you wonder, did he see or experience something that Diddy would rather keep private? Maybe. So, let's break down what happened that night. At first, everything appeared normal. It was a huge celebrity party at Diddy's mansion, with names like Beyonce and Jay-Z in the same room. It was the kind of event you would expect from a major music mogul. There were famous people everywhere, beautiful women, music, and everything else you would expect at a massive Hollywood party. But as the night went on, the crowd slowly became smaller, and that is when things reportedly started to change. So what happened that left DaBaby looking so uncomfortable? At first, he described the night as completely normal. Everyone was having a good time. But then, at some point, Diddy allegedly started getting too close to him. His personal space was being crossed. And it was not just something Diddy said. Things reportedly became much more uncomfortable. DaBaby said that at one point Diddy even had his arm around him. And while he was telling the story, you could hear the discomfort in his voice. Something about the way he described that moment made it clear that he was not looking back on it as a normal night at a party.
Diddy had put everybody else out the crib, like the influx of people he had put him out. But he had took a liking to me in particular around the time, man. It was really, you know what I mean, like putting his arm around me.
Right.
Just imagine being at a party surrounded by some of the biggest names in entertainment, including Beyonce and Jay-Z, and suddenly things become a little too personal. If I were a young artist trying to make a name for myself, I would probably have no idea how to react in that situation. And that is exactly what DaBaby seemed to be dealing with. His experience becomes even more uncomfortable when you consider the many allegations that have been made about Diddy's behavior around younger artists. We have all heard about Cassie and the accusations she made about her relationship with Diddy and the things she says she went through. So when DaBaby described his night as going from a normal party to a moment where he was thinking, wait, what is happening here? People started paying attention. By that point, there were only a few people left inside the room. The party had started with a huge crowd, but as the hours passed and the night got later, rumors began circulating that Diddy had the room cleared out. Only a small group of selected guests reportedly remained, and some of the names connected to that group included Jay-Z and Beyonce. What happened after that behind the closed doors of Diddy's mansion has never been fully explained, but listening to DaBaby's shaky voice while he talked about that night certainly made people uncomfortable. Fans immediately started reacting online. One person said, "Damn, DaBaby just admitted Diddy got him at one of his parties." Another person wrote that Diddy had DaBaby exactly where he wanted him. And this is where the story gets even more interesting. Diddy becoming extremely comfortable with younger or rising artists is not a new topic. For years, he has been seen as a mentor and a major supporter of artists who later became successful. Justin Bieber and Usher are two names that always come up when people talk about Diddy's history with young stars. But what really happened behind the scenes during those relationships? That is something the public cannot fully know. Still, people have their theories. And when you remember what Usher has talked about regarding the infamous Puffy Flavor camp, it becomes even easier to understand why fans are asking questions.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you
New
over
York
to something
City.
called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp.
Yeah,
Flavor
that's what it
Camp.
was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and like nonstop, right?
Nah, not really.
Come on.
But hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you
I
seeing?
went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw.
You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
Hell no.
Over the years, people have pointed to what they believe is a pattern in the way Diddy interacted with younger artists. Some believe he sometimes became far too close with them. And now, DaBaby may be another name being added to that conversation. So when DaBaby finally admitted that he felt uncomfortable at that party, some people were not exactly shocked. They felt like they had heard similar stories before. The questions surrounding Diddy's personal boundaries have been growing for years. Is this simply the way he acts around people he knows? Is it his idea of being friendly? Or is there something deeper that we do not know about? And DaBaby is not the only person whose story has raised questions about Diddy crossing personal boundaries. Young Miami has also been pulled into this conversation. Her name has been heavily connected to Diddy ever since the accusations against him started spreading. For those who may not know, Young Miami was once romantically involved with Puff. Now, there are people who believe she could also face serious public backlash because of her relationship with him. And honestly, that is not difficult to understand. When someone is closely connected to a powerful person facing major accusations, their own reputation can become tied to that person as well. Some people even believe that if Young Miami becomes involved in something questionable, the source of it could eventually lead back to Diddy. As Diddy continues facing serious pressure, Young Miami appears to be feeling some of that attention too. But there is an even bigger twist. We are now seeing reactions connected to Young Miami that could stay with her for a long time. There's even leaked footage that people have been talking about. And I'm going to get into all of that. But first, let's talk about Gina Huin. Gina was a model who dated Puff, and she has made some very serious claims about what she says happened during their relationship. We have all heard about Cassie's lawsuit against Diddy. But Cassie was not the only former partner to make disturbing accusations. Gina Huin has also spoken about her relationship with Diddy and the things she says she experienced. In an interview from 2019 that later resurfaced, Gina described what she called years of violence during their relationship. She reportedly dated Diddy during a period when he was also in an on-and-off relationship with Cassie. And according to Gina, one particular incident became extremely violent. She said Diddy seriously injured her during an encounter, leaving injuries to her head, stomach, and chest. But that was not the only disturbing incident she described. Another time, she said Diddy became angry after catching her texting another man while they were in Miami. And that was when things allegedly became even worse. Let me explain what she said happened. They were upstairs in a walk-in closet when Diddy allegedly pushed her to the floor. She said he then stood over her and punched the side of her head while she covered her face to protect herself. Gina also claimed that Diddy compared her to Cassie, saying she was a bad one while Cassie was a good one. And then she made another disturbing accusation. She said people around Diddy witnessed these alleged altercations multiple times, but allowed them to continue. Then came another major revelation. Gina said that she became pregnant with Diddy's child.
He offered me $50,000 to get rid of it, but I turned it down because I just loved him, and I was like trying to prove that I wasn't the girl that wanted him for money.
Okay.
I just care about him, and I just wanted him to be nice to me. That he was like mentally, emotionally, and physically abusing me. He would always compare me to Cassie and tell me that I'm the bad one and she's the good one. Everyone else just kind of just allowed it to happen and just like looked the other way.
Gina later said that she had a second abortion during her relationship with Diddy. That claim has caused even more attention, especially after Cassie came forward with her own accusations against Sean Combs in a lawsuit. Cassie accused him of serious sexual and physical abuse. At this point, Diddy has not publicly responded in detail to Gina's claims. And given the seriousness of the accusations, many people believe his legal team may handle any response instead. Now, remember the connection between Young Miami and Gina? This is where the story takes another dark turn. Rumors started spreading that Young Miami and Diddy may have worked together to create problems for Gina. Gina talked about how Diddy was different during the relationship. She said that for the first 3.5 years, everything seemed fine, but later, she claimed his behavior completely changed. He allegedly became cruel and controlling, and she eventually came to believe that she had been manipulated. There are even claims that Diddy may have involved Young Miami in certain questionable situations, so that if he was ever caught, she would also be exposed. The idea was that she would have just as much to lose as he did. That is a huge accusation. But according to claims being discussed, Young Miami eventually became tired of the situation. She allegedly reached a point where she did not want Diddy controlling her story or bringing her down with him. And now there are reports that she may be working with 50 Cent on a documentary focused on the allegations surrounding Diddy. 50 Cent production company has confirmed that a documentary project connected to the allegations against Combs is being developed. That adds another major chapter to an already chaotic story. At this point, people around the world have become extremely frustrated with Diddy. Many are asking how someone could face so many serious accusations and still remain out of prison for so long. People are asking what kind of system allows these things to continue for years. But the story does not stop there. Diddy is facing even more pressure. There are multiple women who have accused him of sexual assault. And there is another story that deserves attention. Back in 2018, a former male escort named Jonathan A.I. spoke about Diddy during a police interrogation. He claimed that he had been held captive for Puff and Cassie Ventura. Yes, you heard that correctly. Jonathan made a number of shocking claims during that interrogation. He said he had sexual encounters with Diddy and Cassie around 15 times. And he also claimed there were recordings of those encounters. Even Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, later commented on the situation.
I heard that there's supposed to be some tapes or something that's coming out real soon. And I guess we'll all really know the truth if anything's on those tapes.
Now, the really strange part is that nobody seems to know exactly what happened to Jonathan A.I. afterward. There are rumors that he may have died, but there is no solid information confirming that. And because there are so many unanswered questions, people have started looking at his old claims again. Fast forward to today, with Cassie and other people making accusations against Diddy, and suddenly Jonathan's story from 2018 is receiving new attention. This is not something that only appeared recently. Jonathan was talking about these things years before the current wave of legal problems surrounding Diddy. He claimed that he got caught up in Diddy's world, and that his involvement with Puff and his crew eventually caused major damage to his life. He even blamed Diddy for interfering with his escort business. During the police interrogation, Jonathan described how badly his life had changed after becoming involved with Diddy and Cassie. His situation eventually became so chaotic that he broke into a hotel and got into a confrontation with police. He was shot in the leg. After that, he reportedly began talking about everything he claimed had happened. He discussed drugs, sexual encounters, and even sexually transmitted diseases. He also said that when he tried to walk away, Puff allegedly forced him into a settlement. The idea was apparently to keep everything quiet. But Jonathan claimed the situation did not end there. He said Diddy's lawyers continued pursuing him and that he felt like he was being hunted. Then he made even more claims. Jonathan accused Diddy and Rick Ross of being gay. He also talked about the Illuminati and alleged dark rituals. Now, people are divided over Jonathan's story. Some people question his claims because of the mental health problems he was dealing with. Others believe there may have been some truth behind what he was saying. Back in 2018, authorities did not appear to take his story very seriously. But after everything that has happened since then, people are looking at those old statements differently. There are even rumors that Jonathan may no longer be alive. And because of that, some people have started wondering whether Diddy could have had something to do with his disappearance. There is no confirmed evidence proving that, but the rumor is enough to keep the questions alive. And then there is Cassie. We all know that part of the story. Cassie filed a lawsuit against Diddy in federal court in New York, accusing him of serious sexual and physical abuse. She claimed that Diddy assaulted her multiple times. She also described one disturbing situation where she said she was forced into sexual activity with male workers while Diddy watched. The singer also said Diddy had a violent temper and repeatedly abused her physically. Diddy's lawyer, Ben Brafman, strongly denied those accusations. He claimed Cassie was seeking money from a Bad Boy Records founder. In a statement, Brafman said that Diddy vehemently denies the allegations. He also claimed that Cassie had been demanding $30 million and threatened to write a damaging book about their relationship. He described those demands as blackmail. Cassie's attorney, Douglas Wigdor, gave a different account. He said Cassie and Diddy had spoken before the lawsuit was filed. According to Wigdor, Diddy allegedly offered Cassie a large amount of money to prevent her from taking legal action. She rejected that offer, and then another development came out. Diddy was reportedly under investigation by the NYPD. Cassie and Diddy had an on and off relationship that lasted until 2018, when they finally separated. Cassie later married fitness trainer Alex Fine, and they have 2 daughters together. But her lawsuit described years of what she said was abuse and control. She accused Diddy of sexual assault, physical violence, and forcing her into uncomfortable sexual situations with other men. Cassie said she once saw Diddy as someone who was supposed to protect her. Instead, she described the relationship as violent, unequal, and deeply damaging.
What you gotta say now? What you gotta say now? You ain't got shit to say when you put your girl on the snap. Baby, yo babe. I mean, shit getting weird. Come on, baby. It's hot outside. You wrapped up in that blanket. Let's go jog on the beach.
The lawsuit also focused on the impact the relationship had on Cassie's mental health. It mentioned problems with her memory that she connected to heavy substance use and emotional trauma. The court papers also claimed that medical information, including MRI results, was sent directly to Diddy. Then came one of the biggest accusations in the entire lawsuit. Cassie said Diddy forced her to take part in what he called freak-offs. According to her claims, these events involved her being forced to arrange and participate in sexual encounters with male workers. She said these encounters happened over several years in luxury hotels across the country, and she claimed they could happen as often as once a week. She also alleged that Diddy recorded the encounters by taking photographs and making videos. Cassie tried to delete some of the videos from her phone, but she said she was unable to get rid of everything. In one case, she reportedly believed she had deleted footage, only to later be forced to watch it again while traveling on a flight. Then came another disturbing claim. After an incident in 2016, Diddy allegedly paid a hotel $50,000 to have hallway surveillance footage erased. That footage reportedly showed an intoxicated Diddy throwing glass vases at Cassie while she tried to get away. She allegedly suffered a black eye as a result. Cassie said she turned to drugs and alcohol as a way to cope with what she was going through. Over time, that substance use reportedly became an addiction. The lawsuit also made another shocking accusation connected to Kid Cudi. Cassie claimed that Diddy became angry after she briefly dated Kid Cudi in 2012. The filing alleged that Diddy had previously talked about targeting the rapper. Around the same time, Kid Cudi's car exploded in his driveway. That was not just a rumor. Kid Cudi later confirmed the account through his spokesperson in a statement to the New York Times, saying that it was true. The lawsuit then described another disturbing event from 2018. Cassie alleged that Diddy forced his way into her home and sexually assaulted her even though she repeatedly objected and tried to push him away. After that incident, Cassie decided she was done. She ended the relationship permanently and later cut ties with Bad Boy in 2019. But the list of accusations surrounding Diddy does not stop with Cassie. There have also been claims connecting him to the murder of Tupac and allegations that he ordered attacks involving people connected to his own record label. Those are extremely serious claims, and they remain part of the wider conversation surrounding Diddy. The bigger question is whether he will ever be forced to answer for all of these accusations. Because Diddy has powerful connections, many people wonder how far the investigation will actually go. And now another question is becoming louder. Could DaBaby be another person who was affected by Diddy's behavior? We have heard his story. We have heard the claims from former partners. We have heard the accusations from people who say they were around Diddy. And there are still many unanswered questions. So what do you think? Do you believe DaBaby may have experienced something more serious than he originally revealed? Tell me what you think in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell so you do not miss the next update. I post celebrity news and entertainment stories every day, bringing you the latest developments and the stories people are talking about.